Welcome to another tutorial with Slidercuts, and today I am taking you through a number one with the grain and a skin fade. This is a full length in-depth tutorial, so if you're a beginner, intermediate or advanced, this should be helpful for you. Now before I go any further, don't forget to please click subscribe, and if you like this video, share it with someone, leave a comment, let me know what videos you'd like me to do, but let's get straight into the cut.
And it's Slidercuts.
So guys, we're going to start off with using the number one gauge closed. For those who don't know what closed and open is, very simple. When the lever is at the bottom to the base, it is open. When the lever's at the top to the top of it, it is closed. So closed and open. So I'm doing a number one with the grain. Closed number one. I've combed out his hair, guys. And I'm just going through it with the gauge. It's important to make sure you can see the direction that the hair is going in and follow that direction. And that's why it's important to comb the hair out. Now I'm going to put in my skin line. The skin line will determine where you start your skin fade. So if you want a low skin fade, you can start the line just above the ear. You want a high skin fade, you can start the line up here. But I'm going to do it like a medium skin fade. So I'm going to be putting a line around here. I generally say to people, if they don't tell you what type of skin fade they want, for a standard skin fade, I generally say to you, start it where the curve starts. So if you look at his shape up, it comes down to here. Where the line ends, I say put the line in there. That's where I generally would just say start your skin fade. But if you want it higher, bring it up. If you want it lower, bring it lower. The technique I'm going to use today, guys, is, it hasn't really got a name, but it's almost like stripping layers of the hair off gradually to create a smooth fade. So I'm going to keep taking hair off and then reducing it till it's skin at the bottom and it looks smooth. How I'm going to do this is go over it with one and a half, take all the hair off, but this is important, this part, guys. This part's important. Make sure when you start, you create an invisible line. The reason why is because if you do not create an invisible line wherever you want to stop, what will happen is you'll keep fading and you end up fading up here without knowing it. So it's important to be like, let me show you, this is my invisible line, as an example. And it's like, okay, that's the point, I'm not gonna go higher than. So when I'm fading, I go through the hair, and when I get to the line, just before I get to the line, I'll pull out. It's very important. So I'm going to do that with the 1.5, then I'm going to use the number 1, then I'm going to do the exact same thing, keep going up, but where I was stopping at with the number 1.5, I'm going to go underneath it. And then the 0.5 gauge, same thing, stop there. Then the open blade by itself, then I'm going to stop there. So basically you're going to see that up here is higher, a little bit lower, a little bit lower, a little bit lower, and that's how you create a fade. Cover me. 1.5, close, go through the hair from underneath the line, go up, get to your invisible line, flick out. And you keep doing that and make sure you're combing out while you're doing it. Number 1, closed. Just flatten the hair with the grain. Then we're gonna open it up, guys. And remember this, you're gonna use the same technique for every gauge you use. And then go from underneath the line, come out, flick out. So this is an open number 1. And remember, my first line was here. So that was my invisible line. So when I was with the 1.5, I stopped just underneath that line. Now I'm with the open 1. I'm going to go just underneath where that was. And then close it and go to the same place. And you see that I'm not up there. Look, that's where I was with the 1.5. With the 1, look where I'm stopping. And it's important to go through and flick out, because flicking out helps to create a fade. If you don't flick out, what could happen is you could keep going up and stopping, up stopping, up and stopping, then you end up creating another line. So it's important that you go through and flick out. And I'm just going to smooth it off with the number 1. And now we're going to drop down a gauge. 0.5 gauge. Now this is important. The 0.5 gauge, the bristles are very weak. So if you close it fully, it rubs against it and weakens it, and the bristles break very easily. So what I advise you to do is close it and just open it a little bit. Therefore, it won't be rubbing and weakening the bristles on the gauge. So yeah, even when I'm saying closed, understand that it's not fully closed, it's just slightly open. So it's slightly open. Now, just smoothing the hair, just go with the grain. You don't need to be tough with it, guys, just literally just smooth over it. And then flip it around, open it fully, go from underneath the line, up and flick out. Now if you notice, I'm not going as high as I was with the 1.5 or the number 1. Look where I'm going to right now. Look how low I am, because that's the gradual fade you're creating. Then close it, not fully, guys, remember that. Underneath the line, come through and flick out. Now we drop down to an open blade, guys. Open, make sure this is open. If it's closed, what's gonna happen is you'll end up putting a patch and creating another line. So make sure when you're at this stage, this is open towards the bottom of the clipper. And it's the same thing, guys. With the grain, just go with it, flatten it, and then turn it around. From underneath the line, come through the line, and as you come through the line, flick out. flick out. Then close it a little bit. So imagine there was 4 stages in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So close it a little bit and do exactly the same thing, guys. Underneath the line and flick out. Come from underneath the line and flick out. You can see it blending, right? Close it a bit more, same thing. Underneath the line, come through, flick out. And what's important to see is look how low I am now. Remember I started up there, look how low I am now. Same thing, close it a little bit more. Now come from underneath the line, guys, and as you touch the line, flick out. Literally now, just touch the line and flick out. So you're gonna flick out on the line. And you can touch it one more time just before it hits skin, or just before it hits 0, fully closed, and literally just touch the edges. Be very soft with this. So guys, you can see that I've just done this area. I haven't done up here or the back. I just talked you through this area. Now this fade can be a lot better. But my advice to people is just get through the fade, do all around, and then come back to it at the end. When you spend too much time on one area, your vision sometimes gets blurry, you get frustrated, you get flustered, and you start making mistakes. And even if you don't make mistakes, what happens instead is you spend 10, 15, 20 minutes on one area, and then you turn the head around and it's like, I have to do all of that again here, here, and all here. So then the fade starts dropping down, the quality of the haircut starts dropping down because you just spent too much time in one area. And that's why my advice to people is always this: get it to a good level. It's at a decent level right now. Move on, come back at the end and refine the haircut. Refining, I'll talk about later, but for now just move on. But I'm just gonna show you something before I move on, which is just in case you're looking at it thinking, what's all of this hair here? I'm just gonna fade that in so you guys can see what I'm doing. Same technique as before. Guys, I'm at a point where I started to refine because I started looking at it saying, oh, that's a bit darker, oh, that's a bit lighter, that could be smoother. And instinctively, I just started to refine the haircut. But I had to stop myself and say, no, don't do that. Move on, because any advanced barber, intermediate barber, beginner barber has been there where you feel like you spent too much time on one area. And then it just feels horrible when you have to move on and start everything from scratch, you know, on the other sides. So yeah, I've stopped there, guys. I can see improvements. I know you guys, or some of you guys are looking at it saying, oh, but that's not done, but that's not done, but that's not done. Yes, I know, but I'm gonna finish the haircut. I might even shape him up first, and then I'll refine it all at the end. So I faded the whole head now. Now I'm going to shape him up. What I'm going to do first, guys, is literally just slightly slightly taper the front, meaning I'm going to reduce the front of the hair because it's looking a little bit heavier here. So it's not that I want it lower, it's just looking a little bit heavier. So you're going to see me taper it a little bit, then get into the shape up. Make sure, guys, you comb out or brush. Yes, this is a quick cheeky plug. That's why I'm going slow. Hopefully the cameraman has slowed it right down. Slidercuts brush. So as we can see with this hairline, guys, we're gonna have to create the shape. So with hairlines like this, it might be more difficult, especially if you're a beginner, because you don't know what to do. And what happens with sometimes with beginners, they do things like this. And they just kind of like leave it all over the place because they're not sure. The thing to do, guys, is look, start from the middle. Don't go up there though. I'm not saying go up there, but start from the middle. And follow a line straight. So wherever you start, guys, make sure that you follow that line straight across. Like a ruler. Just follow the line straight. Start from the middle point there, guys, and literally just follow it straight across on a straight line. It might not be straight at first, it might be bent, that's fine, you can fix that up. But that's just how you start. This is how you create a shape. So as you can see already, this side's a bit lower, but that's cool. You're just creating a shape. So from here, same thing, guys. Start a line and follow that line straight. We want straight lines, guys, straight lines. Look where I've started from, guys, and I'm just following that line straight up. At this stage, guys, if you're a beginner, I would say leave it around here. Now, there's parts that can be straightened up, yes. But as a beginner, if you get it to a point like this, almost be happy with it before it goes really wrong. Now, for more intermediates, for more advanced people, then yes, we can make these lines stronger, sharper, straighter, and that's what I'm going to go into now. But start off your shape up like this, and the reason why is because you have now created a shape for yourself to go off. When you try and get it the straightest, the sharpest on that first round, you end up making mistakes, taking things too far. So it's best to be like, let's keep it light. And now you can look at it and be like, okay, that area needs to come up, or that area needs to come up, or this, or whatever it is, guys, right? But you can now look at it because you've got something to go off. So I'm going over it now, guys, because me personally, I wouldn't be happy myself to leave the shape up in this state. Not this state, that sounds, but to leave it where it's at. I can see where it can be improved, I can see where it can be sharper, I can see where it can be cleaner. So I'm just stepping back, and when I'm coming off, guys, because I'm stepping back and looking at it. So when you see me stop, guys, it's literally me just stepping back, coming back from the camera and just giving it a look. Also, when it comes to shape up, this is a lot more advanced. But a shape up isn't only just about having a sharp line. It's about angles. It's about the shape that actually suits the person's head. Sometimes you can give someone a very sharp shape up, but the angles are all wrong and it just doesn't fit their head. I'm combing it out, I'm going over it. At this stage, you can leave it as well. I'm going to take it further than this and make it even sharper, straighter, and I feel like make it more prominent. But at this stage, you can very much leave it. But that's almost like the second round. So I always say there's 3 rounds in a shape up generally. Sometimes 4. You know, the start, which you get your shape to work off, which I say for, you know, trainee barbers, beginner barbers, kind of like leave it there. Then it's like round 2, which is like, you know, you get it to a decent place. If they walk out like that, it's a decent shape up. And then round 3 is really kind of like refining it, really making it stand out, prominent, sharp, clean, and all of those things there. So my next round now would be doing all that stuff there, because for me, I can make here blend in more. I can take down these areas here a little bit, and this area will blend in more. And when I go over the shape up, you'll see what I'm talking about. And this is, I know I'm doing a shape up right now, guys, but if you look, like, the more I go over his hair, the smoother it becomes. So know that, guys. There are things sometimes people cut people's hair and they're like, you know, they want it to be smoother. If you just go over it with the same level that you've been using, it just becomes smoother. So the more and more you go over it. I was gonna do this in the refining stage, but as I was just lowering the front, I just started instinctively just running over it because I could see it. But yeah, let me get back into the shape up. Combing over those hairs as well and hitting it on the line. This will create a cleaner line. The more, if you keep combing it out, guys, and hitting those strands, it will create a cleaner line. But also I'm giving it a bit of a better shape in my opinion as well. So this is more than me just hitting the edges. I'm actually looking at the hair and I can see where a shape would suit his head more. You know, where the lines were fully coming down, like I don't want them to come down as much. Alright guys, so I haven't finished the shape up, but I can feel that I'm spending too much time on one area, and that's when you start making mistakes. So what I'm going to do now is go over the rest of his head, like shave his face, refine the fade, go over the parts that I can see that, you know, need working on, and then come back to the shape up at the end with fresh eyes and go over it to take the haircut over the finish line. So where we're at now, guys, is the haircut is basically finished, it's complete. It's not finished, but it's, you know, it's in a good place. So now I'm gonna refine. Refining is literally just looking at the haircut and looking at the areas that need improving. So you can look at your cut and say, okay, look, that blend doesn't look that smooth. So all you would do then is literally go into that area and just say, if it doesn't look that smooth and the hair looks heavier here, just lighten up the area right there. Or you might look at it and say, okay, I can still see a bit of the line. So then you'd go there and literally just touch the area. All you're doing is going around the hair, looking at things that need improving. Like, it's not that smooth on top. You run over it so you can catch all the stray hairs to make it smoother. This is all what refining is. It's about stepping back from the haircut, looking at it with fresh eyes and saying what can be improved. So here, I can see right there it's a bit too heavy. It looks a bit like the blend could be smoother. So all I'm going to do is literally run over there with like the number 1.5, say open 1. I'm not being tough. Close it a little bit and literally just flick over it. Because I just want it to be a little bit lighter. How you determine what needs doing is this, and I always tell beginner barbers this. When I say, what can you see there? They always kind of start looking for solutions, say, no. What can you see? Whatever you see, just tell me. No, just say it. I'm like, Judge, tell me what the haircut is. I said, look at the haircut, what can you see? And they're like, oh, well, you know, there's a line there, or, you know, it looks darker there. And I say, okay, cool. So that's the answer. If there's a line there, then you need to go over that line to remove the line. If it's darker or heavier, then you need to reduce it. It's not actually complicated. Just say what you see, and then you can find a solution. It's darker, it needs to be lighter. A line, we need to hit the line. It's not smooth, we run over the hair. And that's how you just refine the haircut. So right now you just see me going around the haircut, looking at things, just improving the fade, and then I'm gonna finish off with a shape up. I hope that was helpful for you. An in-depth tutorial on a skin fade, #1 with the grain. Now this is a technique I haven't shown you guys before, so hopefully you can look at the different tutorials I've got out there and choose which one suits you more. You've been in the cut with Slidercuts. Don't forget to subscribe, share, leave a comment, let me know what videos you want, and I'll see you guys next time.
And it's Slidercuts.